What if I told you that the secret to becoming world-class has nothing to do with talent, and everything to do with how you clean your room or write an email? Today, we're stripping away the modern obsession with shortcuts to uncover the ancient samurai code of mastery. This isn't a history lesson, it's a blueprint. By the end of this video, you'll have a 3-part framework to stop dabbling and start mastering any skill you choose. Whether it's in your career, your art, or your fitness, these principles will turn your daily grind into a path of absolute excellence. Let's begin with the first pillar. Section 1, Beyond Natural Talent. We often think that masters are born, not made. We look at a pianist, a coder, or an athlete, and we assume they possess a gift. But what if that perspective is actually holding you back? In the West, we love the idea of the prodigy. We want to believe that some people are just built differently. We see global icons like Shohei, Ohtani, or Ichiro Suzuki, and we mistake their greatness for mere raw talent. We tell ourselves they were born with something we don't have. But that is where we are wrong. These men are not defined by lucky genes or mystical gifts. They are defined by the very same samurai code we are discussing today. Their perfection on the field is not a result of natural-born ease. It is the result of brutal, daily, uncompromising self-perfection. The samurai path rejects the myth of the gifted few. It argues that mastery is not a destination for the lucky. It is a process open to anyone who adopts this unwavering mindset. This is a radical shift in thinking, isn't it? If talent is not the driver, what is? It is the system. It is the commitment to the path. The samurai did not compare their progress to others. They only focused on the work in the mirror. Do you think your environment supports this kind of growth? Or do you feel pressured to look for shortcuts? Let me know in the comments. This journey starts with reclaiming your potential. You are the architect of your own excellence. Are you ready to stop chasing the myth of talent and start building your own path? Let's dive deeper into the first step. Section 0. The Myth of the Secret, Miyamoto Musashi. Now let's look at the source of this power. In feudal Japan, there was a master swordsman named Miyamoto Musashi. He fought over 60 duels in his life and never tasted defeat. Even in an age of constant war, this record is nothing short of legendary. People traveled from across the country to witness his skill. They expected to find some hidden mystical technique that granted him victory. They wanted to know his secret. But when they asked him, Musashi's answer was always simple, almost disappointing. He didn't talk about secret strikes or magical training. He said he never focused on being better than his opponent. Instead, he focused entirely on perfecting his own technique every single day. Think about that for a moment. Most people approach their work with the goal of beating someone else. We want to be better than our competition. We want to be the best in our office. But Musashi understood that competition is a trap. When you focus on others, you lose control of your own path. True mastery is not about defeating an enemy. It is about defeating your own weaknesses. It is about showing up and doing the work, even when no one is watching. Are you chasing the secret to success? Or are you building the foundation? Musashi's life proves that there is no shortcut. There is only the repetition of the basics, refined to perfection. This is the first rule of the samurai. Are you ready to stop looking for secrets and start looking at your daily practice? Section 3. Principle 1. Kihon. The power of fundamentals. How do you actually build this foundation? The samurai had a core concept called Kihon, which simply means basic techniques. Even a swordsman with 30 years of experience would start every session with the most basic stances. They never outgrew the basics. They never felt they were above the simple strikes. This is the biggest difference between a hobbyist and a master. Most of us are in such a hurry to look impressive. We want to show off advanced skills before we have mastered the entry-level movements. We treat the basics like a chore to be finished quickly. But the samurai knew that excellence is not about knowing 1,000 fancy techniques. It is about knowing 10 fundamental techniques so deeply that you can apply them perfectly in 1,000 situations. Think about the skill you are trying to master right now. You must perform the most basic elements flawlessly. If you cannot, you have not yet mastered the foundation. The samurai way teaches us to return to these basics constantly. You practice until they are so natural you could do them in your sleep. This is not boring, it is liberating. When the basics are automatic, your mind is free to focus on the nuances that separate the great from the good. In the West, we often value innovation and newness above all else. In contrast, Japanese culture finds a deep, artistic value in the repetition of the foundation. By looking at these two worlds, the secret to building a truly lasting and unshakable mastery becomes clear. Section 04. The Trap, Why We Rush the Basics. English script. Why do we find it so difficult to stick to the basics? It comes down to a modern obsession with speed and instant gratification. In today's world, we are conditioned to believe that if something is easy, it isn't worth our time. We crave the advanced label because it makes us feel like we are making progress. We rush through the fundamentals because they feel mundane, and we want to jump straight to the complex moves that look good on social media. But there is a hidden cost to this impatience. When you skip the basics, you are building your house on sand. You might look impressive in the beginning, but you will eventually hit a ceiling you cannot break through. That is why so many people get stuck in the intermediate phase forever. They have built a structure of flashy, superficial skills, but they lack the core strength to handle real pressure. The samurai did not have this problem. They understood that the fundamentals are not a starting point you leave behind. They are the constant that keeps you grounded. If you are struggling to progress in your career or your projects, look closely at your foundation. You are likely trying to add layers of complexity to a structure that is already unstable. Sometimes the most professional thing you can do is to slow down. It is to strip away the distractions and return to the simplest version of your craft. That is where the breakthrough happens. True maturity in any field is the realization that the basics are enough. Section 5. Principle 2. Zanshin, the power of follow-through. Now let's move to the second pillar of the samurai code. When a samurai finished a sword strike, he did not relax or celebrate immediately. He maintained complete awareness of his surroundings and kept his guard up. This state of continued attention is called Zanshin, which translates to remaining mind or continuing awareness. This principle teaches us that an action is not truly finished. The moment you stop moving, the work is only complete when you have followed through entirely and returned to a state of readiness. In the modern world, we struggle with the opposite. We start projects with fire and enthusiasm, but we lose focus the moment the hardest part is over. We complete 90% of a task and then rush to start something new. We hit send on an email without reviewing it. We submit work that is almost done, missing the final polish. This lack of Zanshin shows up as sloppy output, unfinished projects, and constant missed opportunities. To practice Zanshin in your daily work, you must change your definition of done. A task is not finished when you have done the main work. It is finished when you have reviewed it, fixed the small errors, and ensured it meets your highest standard. When you write something, read it again before you release it. When you build something, test it thoroughly before you walk away. This level of complete follow-through is the barrier that separates good work from truly exceptional, lasting work. Section 6. The 90% Syndrome in Modern Life. We live in an age of the 90% syndrome. It is the dangerous habit of getting a project almost to the finish line, and then feeling satisfied enough to move on. We treat that last 10% as if it is optional. We tell ourselves that nobody will notice the tiny errors, the messy formatting, or the slight lack of polish. But that 10% is precisely where excellence lives. It is the gap between something that works and something that inspires. When you leave that final 10% unfinished, you are signaling to yourself that your best effort is not required. You are training your brain to settle for mediocrity. This is a common cultural trap today. We are rewarded for speed, for shipping early, and for juggling multiple tasks at once. We praise the hustle, but we rarely praise the deep, silent attention to detail that Zanshin demands. Think about the products or the people you admire most. Is it their speed that impresses you? Or is it the invisible high-level finish that feels effortless and complete? There is a fascinating cultural friction here. Some cultures see the finish line as the goal, while the samurai tradition sees the state after the finish as the true test of character. By looking at how modern hustle culture prioritizes the start, while the samurai priority is the finish, you can clearly see why so much of our work lacks lasting impact. Section 7. Principle 3. Fudoshin, the immovable mind. Now we come to the final, and perhaps most difficult pillar of the samurai code, Fudoshin. This translates to immovable mind or unshakable spirit. It is often misunderstood as being cold, rigid, or indifferent to the world. But that is not it at all. Fudoshin is not about being a statue. It is about developing a mind that stays calm, centered, and focused no matter what chaos unfolds around you. A warrior with Fudoshin could face a larger opponent without fear, accept harsh criticism without becoming defensive, and experience a crushing failure without losing confidence in his path. In the modern world, your Fudoshin is under constant attack. You face relentless feedback from strangers, you see others succeeding faster than you, and you encounter obstacles that threaten to derail your original plans. All of these external forces are designed to shake your spirit. They are designed to make you doubt your abilities and abandon your mission before you reach the destination. The samurai knew that your emotions are like the weather. They shift, they change, and they often cause storms. But your mind is like the sky. The sky remains calm, even when the storm rages through it. Building Fudoshin requires you to separate your volatile emotions from your purposeful actions. When you feel discouraged, you continue to practice. When you receive feedback, you look for the truth without taking it personally. This is how you build a mental fortress that no external setback can penetrate. Section 8. Practical Stoicism. Handling noise. Building Fudoshin in our modern lives feels almost like an impossible mission. We are constantly flooded with noise, endless social media notifications, the pressure of comparison, and the digital voices of people who do not understand our goals. This noise is the enemy of the immovable mind. To master your craft, you have to learn how to filter out the static. This is where practical stoicism meets the samurai spirit. When you face an obstacle, you must learn to categorize it. Ask yourself, is this noise within my control, or is it outside of it? If it is outside, it does not deserve your emotional energy. That negative comment from an internet stranger, that is noise. Your friend's success story that makes you feel behind, that is noise. The only thing that is truly yours is the next action you take. The samurai treated their mental state like a fortress. They did not let every opinion walk through their gates. By limiting what you allow to affect your inner peace, you create space for actual work. You stop reacting to the world and start acting upon it. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being selective. When you master your attention, you master your life. This level of clarity is the ultimate competitive advantage in a world that is losing its focus by the second. Section 9. The synthesis connecting the three. Now let's see how these three pillars, Kihon, Zanshin, and Fudoshin, work together. They are not separate ideas, they are a single flowing system. Think of it as a cycle. You start with Kihon, the foundation, which gives you the tools to act with precision. You carry this into your work through Zanshin, ensuring that every action you complete is polished and deliberate. And throughout the entire process, you maintain Fudoshin, keeping your mind steady so that external chaos cannot break your focus. When these three elements align, your work stops being a struggle and starts becoming a performance. This is the state of total mastery. Most people fail because they only try to adopt one piece of this puzzle. They might work hard on the basics, but they give up when things get difficult because they lack Fudoshin. Or they might have a calm mind, but they fail to follow through because they ignore the discipline of Zanshin. To reach the top of any field, you have to cultivate all three simultaneously. You return to the basics to sharpen your skill. You practice full awareness to finish with excellence. And you anchor your spirit to handle whatever obstacles life throws your way. This combination creates a resilient, unstoppable force. It transforms you from someone who is just trying into someone who is doing. The beauty of this path is that it requires no special equipment, no expensive mentors, and no perfect timing. It only requires your decision to start building this framework within yourself. Section 10. The call to action. Your path begins now. We have traveled from the legendary sword of Musashi to the quiet strength of the modern master. We have explored the simple power of Kihon, the absolute discipline of Zanshin, and the unshakable calm of Fudoshin. But here is the reality. All this knowledge is just ink on a page, unless you turn it into movement. The path to mastery is not a lecture you attend, it is a life you live. It is found in the way you structure your morning, in the way you handle your hardest task of the day, and in the way you treat your failures when they inevitably arrive. Do not wait for the perfect moment to start, because that moment never comes. The samurai did not wait for the perfect weather to practice. They practiced in the mud and the rain. You do not need more time, more money, or more talent. You only need to choose one fundamental, commit to one task until it is perfect, and keep your mind steady when the pressure rises. Your journey toward excellence starts with the very next action you take. It is not about reaching the end of the road, but about how you walk every single step along the way. Today is the day you stop looking for secrets and start building your own legend. You have the blueprint. You have the philosophy. Now, all that is left is the work.